Hi, um, I wanted to talk about spirituality a little bit. Many people either connect spirituality with religion, or either they say I'm a spiritual person, or they may say I'm not a spiritual person. It can be very different experience for everybody. Um, it's very individualistic, it's very subjective, but uh, spirituality has, it has a connection with the religion, but you don't need to be a religious person to be a spiritual person. Even a materialistic person is a spiritual person. I'll tell you why. Basically, everyone on earth is on their spiritual path, whether they admit, they know, or they do not admit, acknowledge it, it doesn't matter. Someone who's a householder, who lives a normal life, who grows up in a normal way, conventional way, gets a job, marries, whether it's a man or a woman, become a householder, they are also actually on their spiritual path. One does not need to stick to a religious way or ritualistic way to be spiritually enlightened. It is a completely different way. A religion can push you towards that path through, uh, scriptures, this and that. But what is it that we have to connect ourselves to our higher self, and the higher self itself connects to the source is something which actually manages the earth. You can call it just divine, because there is no perfect definition for that. Everyone experiences it, no matter which religion you belong to. Everyone experiences that divinity at least once in a while in their life. So in my opinion, every single one on earth is on their spiritual journey. I'll tell you why exactly is that. There are many categories of person, because it's not even possible to categorize people based on spirituality, because people may be spiritual and they may not acknowledge it. People may be materialistic and they acknowledge it, but still they are actually on a path of spirituality. Spirituality is nothing but evolution of our consciousness. Whether a person is born without any attachment to illusion to the earth or whatever we do on earth, or someone is very materialistic, it does not matter. At any time in their life they can flip. A person who has no interest in anything that much too materialistic can actually become a very materialistic person after suffering a lot. So a very materialistic person who actually lived even without a problem. Sometimes problems brings us to gods and spirituality for many people. Even a person who lives a blissful life with an extreme materialistic way, even that person can have this realization, and it can push him to the spiritual life. When I say spiritual life in a conventional way, but truth is, spirituality is nothing but an evolution in our consciousness, ascension of our consciousness, that's all. So basically what happens when we are born, based on our karma, based on our soul ties, based on our soul contract with others, we have to born in a certain family, we have to have certain parents, relatives, friends. This is all contractual. Karma affects a lot. Basically earth is a school, so syllabus is already fixed, but it's in our hand. We have free will, so it's in our hand to go through it or learn as much as we can, and we have to come back numerous time for us to learn. Until we learn, we have to keep learning it. So basically spiritual, everyone on earth is on a spiritual path, because only chanting some mantras, or taking a rosary, or reading some books, or living away from materialistic way does not mean someone is spiritual. Someone who's elevated, ascended consciously is a spiritual person who actually lives a very materialistic life, but he's not bound to that, who's not controlled by that, is a spiritual person in a real sense. One does not need to live in a forest or live away from all these materialistic things to consider themselves as a actual spiritual person. But in a conventional way, it's measured in a very different way. But what matters actually is how we feel and act and decide internally. So why everyone is a spiritual person and why everyone is on a spiritual journey, because that is the point of our existence. Why we come to earth is to evolve. Evolution happens in so many ways. Physical, when we speak about evolution, sorry, I just had food. It's sitting in my throat a little bit. uh, uh, Evolution, whenever I speak about evolution, everyone, most of the time we focus on physical evolution. There are many ways we can count evolution. Evolution in a physical way, evolution in a intellectual, evolution in a spiritual level. That is actual evolution, is the evolution of our spirituality, in the sense our consciousness. So even to recognize certain things that we have in our life, our mental state, our consciousness is the reason that we see things in a very different way. I'll tell you a very simple example. If someone has a habit of eating a lot and someone scolds them regular way, if this person is spiritually little bit aware, is in touch with their own consciousness, higher level, they know that the other person is scolding them because they care about them. And if that is the case, and there is possibilities also that the other person is looking down on them as well. But if it is not, it will be considered as such by this person. If this person who is a lot does not even is not elevated in any internal way, of course it feels bad, but they will consider or feel it in a very negative way. That is the difference between reaction and response. It's just a change or a difference in conscious level. That is how things manage very differently. Even when two people fight, for example, if someone is sitting and someone else comes to them and insults them, there are people who very successfully divert that and they respond, they do not react, because they have seen, they may understand where it would go, because they have a bit better understanding of life. That is how evolved they are in an internal way. It is not just intellectual, it is how they choose to respond. So why I said everyone is spiritually everyone is in a spiritual person, everyone is in a spiritual journey, because at any time in their life, anyone's life, they can actually just stop and take a U-turn in their life. A person who has been very spiritual in a spiritual way that is considered as spiritual by the community or religion or whatever, they may remain same in their consciousness until they pass away. But a person who's actually very much indulging in materialistic life, which I do not say it's a bad thing, no, it is not a bad thing, that is just a phase. Everyone is at some point in their life, it is a process, it is just that they have to take a step towards that thing. Life is a process, this spiritual evolution is a process. So everyone is at some point. So some may move very slowly, some may move very fastly, some may get stuck, some may go back, some may jump forward, some may jump backward. Anything can happen. So it is absolutely unwise to say that I am a spiritual person and this person is not a spiritual person based on how materialistic that person is and unmaterialistic that person is. Everyone comes to earth to learn some lessons. a person who indulges in extreme materialism may understand that at some point of their time, and that is their way of ascension. They may actually jump forward too much uh, in that realization of life. They may see life in extreme, different way. There are things happen, good things happen, bad things happen, and people change their opinion about life, friends, love, money, God. Why do you think that happens? Because it's all a lesson. It is all a part of evolution. It is all a part of our evolution of our soul, our evolution of our that's what I said, our consciousness. So everyone is on spiritual path. Everyone is spiritual in one way or other. It may not look outwardly. It has a different phases. We may not recognize a person as a spiritual person just because they are living a very, maybe they are indulging in too much in something like in a sensual way or a materialistic way. We cannot say that that person is very far from spirituality. It is not that. It doesn't work that way. Everyone is at some point in their spiritual journey, and they will get there. It is not our journey. It's not our. It is not our job to judge them or to focus on them to say that this is where you are. They can change that. The divine can change that at any point of their time. What happens is we have our own guardian angels. We have our deities that even if we do not believe, our ancestors have been believed. That's enough, because there are lots of deities who look after the family they have been revered to, because their ancestors has been asked like look after our descendants. So the deities will look after them, and when our ancestors passed away, they also look after us. It may not be the case for everybody, but it is so. So basically every soul on earth has a divine being looking after them. You just have to believe that they are there. It is the only way to recognize their existence, that you have to believe it. So one of the beings are, it's called, you can call it Shanishwara. Everyone has a very different understanding of him, and people are very scared of him. Actually, he's a like a extremely well versed drill master. He's not a punisher. The divine makes sure that you have a leisure. It's not about one lifetime, it's about many lifetimes. So there is a part, one lives a very leisurely life. It goes very easy for them. Then they have to jump, or they have to do a lot of work in one more lifetime, or by the end of lifetime, or in the beginning of the lifetime. So we cannot see all lifetime in one line. That is why humans feel like some people live very easy life. It is not like that. So we have free will, but our path is little bit predestined, pre-planned by the divine. So if we make a little bit delay, they are there to push it. So Shaneshwara is someone who does that work. So if you see, if you believe it or not, it does not matter. If you see in a Vedic astrology, Sade Sati comes for everybody. It is nothing but to divert ourselves, humans. If we are indulging too much in materialistic life or any sensual way, good or bad, it does not matter. If we are lacking in that path of spiritual ascension, spiritual growth, he is just a reminder. What he does is he brings us back inwards from our distraction. Only way to do that is to shake us where you are, waking us up. It is not a punishment. It is a must in a spiritual path. We have to ascend. We have to do that for ourselves. We are not being punished. He's not a punisher at all. He's one of the bestest mentors you can have. If you have that mentality of asking him, taking him as a guru, and if you are kind to every being, especially the people who are in service business, who actually take care of others, he'll be kinder to you. That is how it is. And He just reminds us where we are being delayed in our life. So he just uh, tells us, go faster, stop distracting yourself. That is all he does. And it looks like very bad thing to people, because majority of the time sadhasati is considered as something bad. But there is a thing called shubha sadhasati, which actually it's like it brings too much good to one's life. It's only because you, until that, from your last sadhasati to this sadhasati, you actually done something way better than you should have prescribed path. So because of that, it is like a bonus coming back to you. So this is how divine look after us. So everyone is spiritual path, everyone is in some way spiritually evolving. We are not here to judge each other, because we do not know everything. Even if we have an understanding, this is how it is, that is how it is, it may not be the final answer for everything. Because whenever we speak about God and this and that, we only consider maximum what earth, our galaxy. We do not even look up, we do not even consider the possibilities of other life on any other planet, and what happens with them. We only speak about humans, and we connect ourselves to God and say that this is God wants, this is not God wants, and that is okay. But what I realized, that you only need to do one thing: go internal. That self actualization comes from that. We just have to listen, because in divine always guides us. We just have to contemplate. We have to go in through meditation or anything that's stop distracting ourselves from the other thing. Not everyone can do that, or not everyone should do that, because it's very essential that people do their job, uh, whether being a householder or running a business or a society. If everyone starts to meditate, then who's gonna grow the rice and food? Who's gonna look after those animals? It's not possible. So everyone has a assigned path for them. It is called soul mission. That is why we come to earth to learn our lessons. And we have soul mission. That means we have to do certain things, and through that we learn lessons, which causes our evolution. Evolution means not physical, not just intellectual, but our consciousness evolves, and we need help in this regard. So we have so many connections that we actually form. It is called soul ties before we coming to earth. Whether it's our families, whether the people we marry, we fall in love with, we just randomly meet. And it happens that many soul ties are continued in through lots of lifetimes. So that is why when we meet certain people, even if they are strangers, it feels like a familiar feeling with them. That is why, because we already know them in our past life, whether they were our parents, our siblings, our friends, or your lovers, or our pets, or whatever, they were there. That familiarity comes from that kind of soul ties that we had in our past life. So basically, us on life earth is like a big drama. That is why divine always tells us, don't indulge in drama. Just let go of the control issue, surrender, but be sure of what you want and stick to it. And if you're in confusion, always ask for the answer. And they always say, if you believe. It's very much important in current universe, that we have to believe in certain things to receive things. There are lots of factors that influences us, including our karma, our ancestors, our soul ties, our desires in this lifetime. And divine always helps us to elevate ourselves in a conscious way. Basically, we are these spiritual beings coming to earth to experience a physical experience, and we have to evolve through our lessons, and that these other souls help us to learn that lessons. That's why we meet up lots of people in our life, whether it's a family, friends, school, teachers, colleagues, and then when the lessons are over, they're out of our life. That is why people estrange from their family, or um, they get separated, they split. Why? Because they learned that lesson. You know, many people, uh, including myself, I'm not excluding myself from all of this, I'm just generally speaking, especially people who consider themselves as nice people who forget about themselves. So being a good person is good, being a nice person is not good. A good person includes themselves in whatever they do, whether they show kindness to others, to be, you know, there for others. They do not abandon themselves. They are the good people. Nice people who abandon themselves to serve others, they are the people pleasers. That's why it hurts. So when it feels bad for us if we do something for others, that is the way that we have to understand that this action, the thing that we do, it does not serve us. So unless we learn it, it keeps happening. That is how relationships builds, relationship grows, relationship falls apart. So this is all just pre-planned. We do not even remember who we are when we come to earth. People may not agree with these kind of things. It's very funny thing that once you see the connection between life and spirituality or God, whatever you call it, God, divine, you name with the certain things, or you may call them spirit guides, they're all connected to each other. We're all connected to each other. Every soul on earth is connected to each other. That is why the phrase of Vasudeva Kutumbakam is coined in older times. It is not just because in a physical way that we are connected to each other, which is also true. I'll talk about this. It's a very good topic. I'll talk about this in another video. Why Vasudeva Kutumbakam has two meanings. One is physical form and one is a spiritual form. But we are connected to each other, whoever we are on earth. So it's been proven that the souls can be born in any place at any time, in any continent at any time. So it doesn't. It's not limited to one place or one gender, one region, or something like that. That is how we evolve. So everyone is a spiritual person. Everyone is on a spiritual journey. That is how life is actually. Whether they understand it, whether they accept it, it has nothing to do with actuality, because we agreeing or not agreeing has nothing to do with the truth sometimes. That is the truth, right? Because many times we are stuck in our own ways, stuck in our way of thinking, and lots of things keeps happening, and then we realize that no, that is how it was, we were wrong. It's not our job to evolve do the evaluation to ourselves. It is divine's job to judge us. So we don't need to be guilty about all of those things unless we hurt others. But being materialistic, not bad thing. No, not at all. Because wanting comfort is a part of life. It is not bad. Indulging in too much can be a bad thing, but it brings happiness. I'll give you an example. People say that people are greedy for wanting something, but without money, nothing happens in this world. Even if you want to save some animals, even if you want to raise some orphans, even if you want to help some poor people, you need money, right? With the right intentions. Basically, I'm trying to say is everyone wants Lakshmi in one way or another way, abundance. So it's a foolishness to reject the fact that we want abundance in our life, whether it's a form of money or comfort, this and that. So it's not a wrong thing to wanting those things, but it's just that it is better to be consciously distance ourselves from indulging in too much if it halts our progress. We may not realize it because from the moment we are born, we've been taught to, you have to live this way, you have to think this way, you have to be this way, and you don't have to be this way, that and that. And we as a soul, we kind of forget who we are until divine decides to wake us up. If they decide to wake us up, it's a very complicated subject. It's very individualistic, so it differs from one person to one person. So, because of that, I understood that everyone on earth is spiritual. It's their path to take. They will get there. They will get there. They will ascend at one time. It doesn't have to be same way the way we do. Everyone has their own path to take. They are there in some step of ascension, and only we have to do is focus on ourselves. That's all. That is how I can easily say that even a materialistic person means how we pursue a materialistic person is, even if that kind of person is actually on a spiritual path. Because many of the time people who run behind power, money, this and that, even if it brings them happiness, after some times they feel like I'm not too much enjoying all of those things. I've seen many celebrities or whatever saying that I enjoyed it when I was younger, but now I am content with whatever I have. I'm not too much interested in all those things. These things does not control them anymore. They enjoyed it thoroughly, and now suddenly they're in a different mood. It comes with the age, and it's okay for some people, but divine does not allow it to happen to everybody, because we are with a different karma. We have different connection with people. We have a different lesson to learn. So according to that, they make sure that we try to do our best. But most of the time, we forget why we came to earth, because we distract ourselves too much. That's another story. See, there is a lot to talk about. It's just like a unlimited source if you start to talk about these kind of things, because everything is interconnected, and whether it's a physical form or spiritual evolution, or the idea of God and religion and manifestation, earth, other dimensions, it is all, it's like a paradox. It seems simpler, but it is not simple, but it's actually simpler than how it actually seems to be. Unless you're in that mode, it's very hard to understand sometimes. And even if you understand, see, that is a point in spirituality. Seeing things, knowing things, understanding things, adopting things, and practicing it's all different stages. Even if a person know, but they may not adopt it, they may not understand it, they may not practice it voluntarily. That is why people suffer a lot. They know they shouldn't do something, they know they should do something, but they ended up doing something opposite to that, and that's okay. That's why we are allowed to be wrong as human beings. We just need to have this faith in ourselves that it's okay, everything will turn around right, and we have to believe in ourselves. Even if some person does not believe in God, that's perfectly okay. They have to believe in themselves. I'll tell you in another video why is that. It's amazing how wonderful this universe works. Once you understand the law of universe, it becomes easier. Anyway, I was only supposed to talk about spirituality, and I ended up talking about other things, but that's okay, I guess. See you in next video. Let's see which topic I'll talk about. If you're anyone interested in anything, any topic related to life, spirituality, God, religion, anything, any religion, it's okay. I'll try to do my best to give the answers, since I just know few parts here and there, and I do not claim to know everything. I do not claim to know every part of it, and I'll explain in another video why is that. I'll simply tell you why divine gives half answers to people, and no one knows everything. That is as simple as that. It's better to keep ourselves in a humble mode, to behave in a with humility. Let's just say, let's grow and evolve together, help each other out. That's all. Peace out.